That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without the truth. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second series.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Good morning everyone. It's film and TV reviews and a lot of other things, I suppose, when someone comes in and makes a comment. Totally digressing from films, TV series, you know what I mean. But anyway, it's a good morning to everyone. I hope you're all had a good night. I woke up this morning, I was feeling sick, you know, a bit nauseated. I'm like, oh, jeez. You know, anyway, and I was looking for my glasses, wasn't I, last night. Hadn't a clue where they were. Hadn't a clue. And guess what? When I went to bed there, they had it on top of the bed. So I must have gone in for something, you know, with my glasses on, took them off or whatever. Earlier in the, evening, day, late afternoon or something like that. Just couldn't find them, so I could read last night. Couldn't even bloody read, you know, half of the messages. But anyway, got them. Made up with that. Films. I watched two, and I've been asked to watch two more. Okay, so I'll give you the two now, but just let me say, Edward says, good morning, Frank and chat. Edward, again. I've watched the Expendables. I couldn't get into it. I watched a good film called Parker with Jason Statham. I'm sorry, I can't stand that fella. And yet he likes Liverpool, you know the city. I was talking to J.K. Ben one day. He was here just having a chat. And all of a sudden, this Jason Statham, I can't stand him, I can't stand him. He can't act. I said, and Jake said, he's a nice fella, you know. I said, because he's acted with him. Well, he acted with him. And he said, and he loves Liverpool. He said he loves coming up to Liverpool. But that's where he lives in America now, doesn't he? I said, but it makes no difference. And that's Jared Butler, him and Jared Butler. Those two, I can't stand them. I watched, I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. I watched, for the first time it came out, I watched it. It was a very unusual film, very, you know, it was brilliant actually, the way it worked, the way it was done. And it was called The 300. About Spartans, you know. Oh, bugger! Oh, okay, now, and he was getting on, even through the first show, he was getting on my nerves. But, you know, I was watching the film. And then I put it on last week or the week before, whatever. So I'll have another look. I had to turn him off. I had to turn it on. He was getting on my nerves. Really was. But, you know, have a look at it, 300 with Gerard Butler. It's a good film. And that's with the game. There's a series called 000 about the mafia in Calabria. Ooh. It's only a limited series, but it's all right. I'll have a look at that. Don't mind the old mafia ones. I don't mind the old mafia ones. I'll have a look at that. 000. Thanks for that, Ezra. Yeah, I felt a bit sick this morning. Good morning, Frank and chat, says George. Good morning, George. Good morning. Anyway, I was watching a film, and you've got to watch it. Now, I don't know what's behind me, you know, when I come on, when you see me. It's the first time I see what's behind me. And this is the film, Uncanny as Jason. That's the film I watched, and it's really good. It really is good. The Fountain of Youth. Watch it. Watch it if you can. The Fountain of Youth. It's a bit like an adventurer, you know, who's after things, you know, like Indiana Jones in. It's like him, but in modern day, not like in the 30s where Indiana Jones. It's in modern day, and it's really good. Watch it. And part of it is filmed in Liverpool. Couldn't believe it. I went, whoa, look at this. Brilliant. Watch it. Fountain of Youth. Then I watched it. I said, oh, that's okay. I'll have to watch another one. Modern, because the modern day films are absolutely awful, with the exception of that. And remember, I watched another one, which was excellent as well, with Michael Keaton, going back a little while, you know, a couple of months ago. And it's called Knox Goes Away. Michael Keaton. And it's about a hitman. But there's a underlying story to it. It's brilliant. Really good film. But then I watched, as I said, Fountain of Youth. I said, I'll have to watch another one. So I watched that. And so I went into the horror genre. And I put this thing on. Because that is a rare fantasy, to be honest. Fountain of Youth. But watch it. So I decided to go into the genre of horror films, and I put on Until Dawn. And it's about a group of friends, as usual, young Americans. And they're going somewhere, and and so it's raining. And all of a sudden, it's raining. You know, pouring with rain. So they're driving. Always in the middle of a woods, isn't it? Have you noticed? You notice, like, when girls run through the woods, they always fall over. Every film, no matter what era it comes from, running through the woods falls over. Anyway, they come to, and then all of a sudden, it just stops. It stops raining. They just come into this thing. There's a house there, you know, like a welcome house. And they stop. And they get out of the car. And they look, and it's still raining over the way. It's still pouring down. And this girl goes across, and she's looking. The rain is coming down, and she's dry, you know. Where she's standing, it's completely and utterly dry where this house is. So they go in the house, they have a look around, and that's where it starts. Until dawn. You want to watch it? Go ahead and watch it. George says, I have studied film acting for many years, and whilst I enjoy classic Hollywood, the style of acting was overtly dramatic, with the emphasis similar to that of the stage. The method changed everything. See, I always went to see plays, especially Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. Love the plays of Shakespeare. And as you know, George, you can't go to, if you don't know the story of a Shakespearean play, you wouldn't understand what's being acted. So you've got to know the story before you see the play, strangely enough. Shakespeare, that is. So I love the plays. I've seen loads of plays, you know, without the Shakespearean theme. I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed the importance of being earnest on stage. Absolutely brilliant. Great acting. But some, especially old films where you see an actor, a stage actor, coming onto the film, and he brings that particular stage experience to the film, and sometimes it doesn't work. They look wooden. Now, I watched a film during I don't know whether it was the 50s, I'm not quite so sure. Was it the 60s, 50s, 60s? I'm not quite so sure. But the performance by one of them, a leading actor, was absolutely out of this world. And it was a great story. It was an Agatha Christie story. I love Agatha Christie. Like Conan Doyle, I like him as well. You know, the Sherlock Holmes thing. Love Sherlock Holmes. But anyway, I watched this particular one. And one of the lead actors, he wasn't the lead actor, he was one of them. Was absolutely superb. And it was witness for the prosecution and Charles Law. Marlene Dietrich was in it. Marlene Dietrich. She was in it. And Tyrone Power. Now, I thought I knew the end, you know. I seen it years ago. And I thought, and you know what? It got me by surprise. I went, oh, Right, okay. Witness for the prosecution, Charles Lawton, absolutely superb. Look at his acting. It's fantastic. And funny enough, his wife plays the nurse, his nurse in it. His nurse, Elsa Lancaster. And then when I was looking at it, it was showing the outside, and you see London obviously and whatever. And then I seen a couple of actors, not on the outside, the location, but the inside. And I said, this is a fucking Hollywood thing. I don't like a typical English film to be filmed in Hollywood. For me, it has to be authentic. It has to be filmed in wherever it's filmed. I always remember I forget what it was. And it was supposed to be in the English countryside, and you could fucking tell that it wasn't the English countryside. You could tell by the trees and whatever, that it was Hollywood. I like authenticity in anything, to be honest. Edward, Nosferatu is a good one for Nosferatu. Yeah. I see Klaus Kinski played Nosferatu in a film, I think it was a modern day version of the old one that was done in the 20s. Brilliant. Klaus Kinski was a great actor. I always forget this fella's name, and it was a true story. And Klaus Kinski, he played this fella who crossed the Amazon, dragging a boat through jungles. I forget what it was called. Seen it years ago. Klaus Kinski. Excellent actor. Christopher. Morning, Frank and everyone. Morning, Christopher. Hope you will. Polo Mint. Tyrone Power. Yeah, he was in it. He was only young when he died, He was only like in his 40s, early 40s. Tyrone Power. Good looking fella. But when I was looking at him in this, he looked older. I mean, you see someone today in the 40s and they look relatively young, like me. Like, I'm 47. Charles Lawton, marvellous actor, and his only film with Robert Mitchum, great film, Polo Mint. I love him. Love Charles Lawton. You see him mutiny on the mountain. Oh, Mr. Consumed! Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Charles Lawton. Just outdid everybody when he acted, especially those Americans. But Robert Mitchum, great actor as well. Didn't half like him. I liked tell you who else I liked. Lee Marvin. The likes of Lee Marvin, you know, you could say that he was a no-nonsense actor. You know, the films he was portrayed in, you know, the characters, no-nonsense fellas. And he did a film, believe it or not, with John Wayne. And the both of them, Wayne and him, very, you know, you could tell he was a great actor, Lee Marvin, that is, because he played comedy. And he was brilliant in it. So was John Wayne, actually. Comedy. You know what I'm going on, so yeah, I forgot the title. This film, you'll all know. You'll know it. Well, you're right there, Polo, about Lawton. Have you watched Pulp Fiction? So he said, yeah, I watched it, yeah, when it first came out. John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. Bruce. Yeah, I like Tarantino. He did unusual films, you know, Pulp Fiction, like I said. Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs. Some good, yeah. I like the Reservoir Dogs, some good films. And Tim Roth. Tim Roth. As was again, the Kill Bill films are good. I've only seen the first one, Kill Bill one, you know, Uma Thurman. That's all. Only seen the one, which was quite good actually. And Simon, he says, "Hi Frank, one of my favourite films, same as me, Leon, Jean Reno, brilliant actor, French actor. Yeah, Leon. Very underrated actor, Natalie Portman. Yep. She is. Natalie Portman. Hope you're well. Yeah. Vial into, yeah, tonight. Quarter into tonight. I hope so. I really hope so. Violetta. Nice one, Simon. George. It must also be said that classic film directors tended to stage scenes, that is, gather characters in a room facing camera, then have them deliver their lines. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, you're right. You're right, George. I did something for and I couldn't get the 3 lines it was, and I couldn't get it right. I was saying, I can't fucking do this. And I felt like I got one. So I was talking to this fella. You see. I'll tell you what I played. I played a type of you know, a hard-hitting counsellor, you know, like Degsy sort of thing. And he went, just over. I said, I'm getting mixed up with these fucking words here. I said, I'm not doing it. And he went, oh, yeah. So anyway, he got this. I was talking to a fella, so like, where the fella's there like that, say, the camera's on me, right? So I'll be talking to this fella like that, right? And he said, hang on. And he got, you know those little yellow pig, you know, those things that you stick on, you write a note and stick on or whatever. But one of them, you know, and I was talking to this fella like that. Got us in one. And he went, yeah, I say, great, isn't it? I said, can you do that all over the place? But that was it. So you're right. You know, when you're talking your lines to the camera. But I had to be talking to someone. The back of their head had to be shown, you see, in the shot. These words that I was saying, these lines that I was saying. Anyway, Simon says, Kelly's heroes, Telly Savalas and Clint, and the great Donald Sutherland as oddball. The bank scene involving the Tiger tank was classic. Great film, Kelly's heroes. Funny enough, talking about Clint, I watched it was an old film. I'd seen it when it first came out, and so that's good. And I seen it then. I went, wow, look, I think I'll have a look at it. And it was good. And it was a British film. And that was called Firefox. But it was about the heroics, you know, especially of American pilots. But it was enjoyable. Great British actors in it, you know, stalwart actors. The likes of Freddie Jones. You know, during the Cold War, it was, you know, Cold War film. Firefox. Try and catch it. Casino is one of the best gangster films, says Gary Rigby. Yeah. De Niro, Pesci. Yeah. Yeah. The Usual Suspects, isn't it? He plays these roles. But yeah, Casino's a great film. George says it. Must agree, Leon, the professional, was superb. In fact, all Luc Besson films have been high quality. There's a film talking about Jean Reno, and Robert De Niro, and it's called Ronin, Ronin, Ronin. Very good film, very good. And talking about Ronin, there's another film, sort of a fantasy thing, called Ronin 47. Brilliant film. About the Japanese samurai. Watch it. Two Ronins, totally different from, you know, the two Ronins, totally different. Couldn't get any more different than them. Ronan with Jean Reno, and I tell you who else, Jonathan Price is in there, Ronan as well, with De Niro and Jean Reno. Great actor, Jonathan Price, you know. I met him in Radio Merseyside in the Reset. He was just sitting there. He went, hello. He went, hello. And I said, hey, you. I said, you're trying to kill our James Bond. And he just laughed. You know, because he was a villain in James Bond. And you wouldn't expect that from Jonathan Price. But I was talking about the man from the Prue. I said, you played a great part in that. He said, thank you. Very gentle, you know. Very gentle man. The way he is, the way he was. Jonathan Price. And Simon says, Frank, who is your favourite 007? Mine has to be Daniel Craig. Thoughts on the broccoli selling the franchise? Who is going to be the next? I'd say Tom Hardy. Daniel Craig, I just don't like him. And yet I interviewed his granddad. Talking to him. Got asked to talk to him. What a fantastic man he turned out to be. Excuse me. What a fantastic man he turns out to be. What a fantastic story. The escapades during the Second World War. Unbelievable. And I'm doing something about characters, Liverpool characters, and he's one of them. So I won't tell you now, unfortunately. Someone might be listening in when I do my history show. Be doing it, I think, next week or the week after. Certain characters. But characters with a oomph, if you know what I mean. And he'll be one of them. I'll be talking about. But it's albeit that Daniel Craig's a great Liverpool supporter. He goes to match, you know. And as far as Tom Hardy, no, he's another one. He's another one. And the way woke is, don't be surprised that you'll get an entirely different James Bond. As with American Gangster is good as well. American Gangster. It's always American, isn't it? I saw an interview with Eastwood's old armourer who said he was one of the few actors who never blinked. That's right. That's right. Didn't blink, you know, with fire in the gun. Great Clint. Great, isn't it? I know they used to, someone said, oh, behave yourself. I'm going back ages and ages ago when I mentioned this. I was up in Scotland near my ex-wife, you know. So we were up there because we went to see this couple and spend the weekend, you know. And this fella, his uncle owned a complex called Duck Bay on Loch Lomond. He said we'll go up there. He said, the girls are going to go to the market. He said, we'll go, I'll show you where we're going tonight. I said, okay. Went up there. Incredible venue. He said, we're here tonight, you know, he's looking around. And I seen, it was empty. It was empty. But I seen one man sitting down. And, you know, like there was two people, one a male, one female. And the male, he was doing like the coffee and things, and whatever. And the girl was serving him in the uniform, you know. And I said to Kenny, the lad's name was Kenny, I said, Kenny, shall I go over? He said, no, I'm not. He said, I'm not. I said, why? And he wouldn't come with me. And I just walked over. I said, Mr. Eastwood. And I put my hands out, and shook my hands. He said, yeah, sit down. Want a coffee? And he went, I said, no, we only drink tea. I had to come and tea. Clint. I was with him for about 25 minutes, half an hour. And I said, listen, I've got to go. I was just calling him Mr. Eastwood. I'm tall. He was very tall. I think he's shrunk now. But he was very tall. I said, thank you so much. You know, I said, I've got to go. I've got to go. See you again, Mr. Eastwood. He said, Frank, honestly. He said, Frank, Clint. I went, all right, Clint. See you again. That's good you say. Clint Eastwood. Scotland. Duckbeck. I asked him actually, I said, well, what are you doing here? He said, well, I'm playing. He said, I've got a week off. He said, I'm playing golf. I was invited over. And he said, I'm just relaxing. He said, I'm back tomorrow though. I said, are you going back to stay? He said, oh no. He said, let me explain. And he explained that he was one of the judges down at Cannes. And he had a week off from, you know, the judge. So someone suggested this, and you know, everything's all set up. If you want to go, we'll set it up within 48 hours. So he said, okay. And he flew to Scotland, went to the Duckbeck. Incredible, isn't it? Clint. Duckbeck, playing golf. And he met me. You can't make these things up. Simon says, Clint and Richard Burton were Eagles Day. Were Eagles Day. Great film. Great film. And George, Ronan, top movie with the obligatory, yes, Sean Bean. But you see the way they had the English fella though? That's what I didn't like about it. I didn't like that about but typical American, you see. But Ronan, watch it, people. If you haven't seen it, watch it, Ronan. And George Settled, highly recommend it as well. I'm sure. The obligatory Sean Bean death. Yes. Myra. Hi, Frank. Hiya, Myra. Oh, smashing to see you. Is that I haven't watched a movie in years? Is that it must be? I'll try and watch. Myra, try and get this. It's called The Fountain of Youth. Please watch it. I'll give you a couple of films. I'll try and write them down. Myra, which I think you would enjoy rather than the lads. You know. See, I like a good romantic film. I know this sounds mad, you know, coming from me. I do. But it has to be right. The chemistry on the screen has to be right. And there are two films. One is called The Lake House. Fantastic film. Very, and a clever film, if you know what I mean. Clever. Very clever film. And it's called The Lake House with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Made a few years ago, but really, really good. That's good. And the other film, which is, it's really, and about two young people. This bloody pain, I've got a back. Two young people in hospital. In hospital they are. And it's so, oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. And it's called 5 Feet Apart. Please watch it. Watch the two of them. 5 Feet Apart. Beautiful. Get the Kleenex ready. And as I said, The Lake House. Fantastic. The Lake House. Great to see you, Myra. Really? Ah, love you, honestly. And Simon says, Tom Hanks was excellent in The Green Mile with Michael Clarke, but his highlight was Forrest Gump. Life like us. Life, us. Life. Hang on. Us like a box of chocolate. Life is to us a box of chocolate. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. Like me right now. Yeah. I've always said this, Simon. As we grow up, you know, and we always take things for granted. We do. Like me, I took things for granted. You don't realise you're taking things for granted, by the way. You just do things. Just like, let me grab something down here. Like running across the road. Just running across the road. You know, you see a car like down there, and you know, and you just trot across the road. You will safe, you know. I can't do that anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's taking things for granted, just running across the road. And other things now, you know. So you're right. It is like a box of chocolates. And you don't know what you're going to, when you put your little things in to pick out a certain chocolate without reading what it is. Yes. Brilliant. Good analogy. I like that, Simon. Pamela Smith. Congratulations. What's that? Pamela. Hi, friends. How are you doing? Send me a direct message. Unfortunately, no messages from moi. The reason I like Craig was I thought we got to see a darker side. I watched the Ian Fleming story recently, interesting and colourful like. Well, wait till if you're listening to my history show, which I won't be, to be honest, I won't be doing it this week. I'll be doing a history show about what I want to do about characters and I'll be the week after. I've got to sort out the characters, you see, we'll be talking about. Albeit that I could talk about them off the cuff. But he'll be one of them. Listen now for what I said about his granddad. Incredible. Simon, I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. Brilliant. Brilliant. When he's looking at, do you know what? He always gave that fella. It was very hard for black actors to get, parts. Fella, I forget his first name, but his last name was Popwell. Say like Sammy Popwell, for example. So he always, or David Popwell, whatever his name was, and he always gave him a little part, help him along to the fella he was seeing. Brilliant actor, great fella, loved him. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. What a lie. What a lie. And do you ever remember the other one? Go on, make my day. Don't get there anymore, do you? Christopher. I like Daniel Craig. He won't have anything said against Liverpool. Same with Jason Isaacs. I know Jason. I used to be in touch with some girl from Canada, lovely girl. And she had, her niece was a makeup artist. And he was doing a series over in Canada, Toronto. And she was the makeup artist, So anyway, she was just saying, terribly. And I said, and she mentioned Jason Isaacs. She said, she does his makeup. And I said, the English actor? She said, yeah. I said, well, tell your niece to mention me. She said, why? I said, just tell her to mention me. Too. And she did, and she said, how do you know? She said, no, my auntie, was saying. She's in touch with her, they're in touch with each other. Historically, like. He said, yeah, historian, great historian. He said, I've met Frank on a number of occasions where he showed me things, told me things. True that. And they couldn't believe it, especially the auntie. She went, really? She said, I didn't know that, people. Anyway, Simon says, interesting fact about Clint. He only got the role of Harry Callahan as Frank Sinatra couldn't hold a gun. And Daz, hiya Daz. I got Frank, mate. Ah, good to see you, Daz. Really, honestly, good to see you, fella. What's the best Clint film? One is Where Eagles Dare. That's on tomorrow. So it's on tomorrow. Yeah, Where Eagles Dare. Great films. You know, Kelly's Heroes. He's made some cracking films. He's made some cracking films. I'm trying to think of one, you know. He's even played. He plays a cowboy. I forget the. I don't know whether it's called Pale Rider because I get mixed up with two that he's in. You just see him. You just see him coming into this town from a distance, and the name of the town is called Largo. Largo, Lago. And I'm sitting there looking at this, and I went, Largo. It's an anagram of jail. You know, when they spell jail the old way, Goal. Goal. And it was the residents who lived there. It was like a jail to them. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. So, you know, Clint's in that as well. Plays a great, you know, the likes of Dirty Harry. He was in one as well, and I forget the title, where he plays a detective. And he's got two daughters in it, two little girls. And that French actress was in it. Oh, what was her name? Not Jean Moreau. Oh, she was in Coma with Michael Douglas, this one. But anyway, she's in it. And it's a cracking film. She plays a girl who's teaching self-defense to other women, you know. And just in case, you know, they're set upon by a man, you know, the score. And so she's a self-defense thing. So you can see the storyline. Very good film. Forget the title, unfortunately. It's that long since I've seen it. Well, I mentioned Coma, didn't I, with Michael Douglas? Watch that. That's a very good film. Oh, a name came to me then. And it just disappears. Comes and goes. Ah, lovely Karen. Hiya, Karen. I can't remember films. I'm engrossed watching them, and then I struggle to tell anyone what happened. It must be an age thing. On the plus side, it means I can watch films again and again. Karen, I was talking to one of the girls on here, South African girl. She lives in South Africa. And there's two films. Please watch them. You might have been listening to me, but I don't know, you see. One is called 5 Feet Apart. I don't know the actors in it, but the title is 5 Feet Apart, about two young patients in hospital. Fantastic. Fantastic. And the other one, Karen, is called, what's it called? Oh, yeah. It's called The Lake House with Sandra Bullock. and Keanu Reeves. Clever film. I like clever films. This is clever. Watch it. Watch the two of them. You will not be disappointed. That's 5 feet apart, and the lake house. Thank me later, or thank me when you come down on the 18th. Which was the Tom in the film Big? Oh, yeah, Tom Hanks. Never got into any of them films, to be honest. I like Tom Hanks. One of my favourite films that he was in, besides that, the Green Mile, was A Bridge of Spies. A Bridge of Spies with that Rylance fella. I always forget that Rylance fella's first name, to be honest. British actor, very good actor. A Bridge of Spies. True story. Watch it. If you haven't seen it. Ah, Johan. Hello, Johan. Good morning, Frank and fellow members of the FC Film Crew. Oh, brilliant. And George said, Matt, I recommend for your viewing pleasure Shadowlands from 1993. Anthony Hopkins, superb in this CS. That's where God, his name's gone. Emma Thompson. Am I right? Shadowlands. Great Hopkins, great actor. Simon. That's him, Albert Popwell. That's him. And he always gave him work, Smashing fella, Clint. I'm saying Clint. You'd think you're going up to spend a weekend, with a couple of friends, the couple, and all of a sudden you go into a place and there's Clint. All right, Clint. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's happened to me. Being Clint. Hey, Frank, Clint. Because I was saying, like Mr. Eastwood, as I was walking away. I was, see you again, Clint. What else could you say? Honestly, just mad. Just mad. Thanks for that, Simon. Albert Popwell. Karen, just laughing at your impersonation of Clint's great lines. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. Thanks, Karen. The impersonator thing, mate. Well, thank you for the compliment. Frank, years back, I watched a movie called Infinity. Yes, science fiction, time travel. I've seen it. Infinity. It's a very good film. It's not what's his name? It's not Clooney, is it? It's not Clooney. It's not George Clooney. And Edward says, didn't know Jason Isaacs is from Liverpool. Brotherhood is good, plays a gangster in America. Yeah. Those films in Toronto. That's how You know, as I said, I was in touch with this girl. Not on a romantic thing or nothing like that, you know what I mean? Nothing that like that. But as I said, you know, she just mentioned about this British actor and their niece was always did his makeup on set before he went on set. Jason Isaacs, an English actor. So Jason Isaacs, ask your niece to ask him if he knows me. And she asked him, do you know? Tell him, hello, Mary. So he said, Torino was a very good Clint film. Yet this is when he's older, isn't it? The Unforgiven with Gene Hackman as well. He put that on the back burner, you know, The Unforgiven. He put it on the back burner for years. He said, I'm too young to play it now because it's for an older man. Just past the middle age, cracking film. Genevieve Bujold is that French actor's name. Genevieve Bujold is in that film with Clint, and I can't think of the title. So if you Google whatever Clint was in, and Genevieve Bujold was his co-star, it's a cracking film. It really is a good, but he plays a detective, but it's not a Dirty Harry thing. Doesn't play Dirty Harry. Genevieve Bujold. Used to have a crush on Genevieve. Yes. My little French. Mademoiselle. Infinity says my 7 sci-fi time travel is free on YouTube. Yet there's loads of films that you can actually get on YouTube, which are good. Some of them are terrible, though, unfortunately. And there are some, you know, that they catch you. You can watch it, then all of a sudden it goes off halfway through. And when you look at it, you can rent it for $3.99, whatever it is. Not to see the end of it. I think, Christopher says, was I playing drifted? I think you're right. Rather than see, I always get mixed up with I Planes Drifter and Pale Rider, albeit both of them were two different entities, if you know me. So, yeah, I Planes Drifter. Great film when he goes into the town. There's a fella, and he's played a few times with him, and he always gave him a job as well. And that was a fella named Jeffrey Lewis. And Jeffrey Lewis is in this film as well, I Planes. And he was in Anyway But Which Way Loose, and Anyway But Which One Can. You know, about that lad orangutan thing, where he's a fighter. Did you like that impersonation, Carol? A fighter. Thanks for that, Christopher. I Edward, says Mary. That lovely. I've written those films down, Frank, so don't forget. They're well worth watching, honest. Make sure you've got Kleenex. That's a cracker, that. Yeah. I think I was probably always a liar. I just get paid for it now. You know what he's talking about, don't you? He's talking about characters he has to play in film. They're all made up. I was with him, Eddie Klein, and Wally Fields. And he said, do us a favour, will you? And I said, yeah, So I took them about. And I gave a lecture, fully enough. And Eddie invited Jason and Wally Fields now to see me do this lecture. In Liverpool's St. George's Hall concert room. I got one of the greatest compliments then, but it was off Wally Fields. When he turned around to Eddie, and Jason said, "Now Wally he works in America. He's still the Hollywood Bowl King, orchestra that is, and all over the States. He's a composer, but classical and jazz. Classical and jazz. Like Gershwin's. Anyway, he said, I remember going to see what's his bloody name? At the Empire, Danny Kaye. I remember going to see him. He said, and after the show, Danny said, I want to talk to the audience. And he said, he just brought a chair out, one of them wooden things. He said he sat down and lit a cigarette, crossed his legs, and he said he was just sitting there like that, taking questions at the Liverpool Empire. And honest, he said, I've never seen a performance like that until that chap up there. Through that. I didn't even know this fella. And Jason was there. Didn't know him. Being honest, I didn't know them. I knew Jason was an actor of sorts. Simon says, Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves were in. Yeah, they had a great. Do you know what? I don't know what. That's right. I always had a crush on Sandra Bullock. That's him. No, but I thought he was going to say something else. Did you know that they loved each other? And they wouldn't admit it to each other? Did you know that? They loved each other. I mean, really, I can say that I love Karen and Myra, but you know what I mean? They really loved. Like I love Genevieve Bujold. It's true that. Karen, I'm laughing my head off here at this group chat. See you again, Clint. There's nothing else I could say. It's like anything. No, you know, when you call, I've said it to you, I've said it to your Steve. See you again, Steve. See you again, Carol. That's what you say. Said it to Prince Charles when he was detained. I forgot his name, didn't I? Completely. I was just gone after that, like an incident, and I forgot what I was doing. I forgot everything, and when I was walking away, I see it again, Prince. I forgot his name, but I knew that he was a prince. So I see it again, Prince. I'm going for the cup and say, "Oh yes, oh boy, very interesting." Crazy, just crazy, crazy life I've had. Carol. Are there any facts, films, or famous people you don't know? I'm amazed how you can recollect info so quickly. Puts me to, don't be, no, it's just things. It's just things. It's just things. Karen, that's all. And they connect. I know what you mean, though. Don't forget, I've got a photographic memory, which it's slowly going. It's slowly going, unfortunately. Simon says, Gene Hackman, legend, rest in peace. All right, Popeyes here. Get your hands around your heads. Get off the bar and get on the wall. Yeah, that's when he walks into a bar, wasn't it? It's just, Gene Hackman. His wife had a terrible death, you know. That they're rodents. I fucking hate rodents. I hate flies. I hate flies. And should have seen that Francine yesterday. She opened the things, you know, the patio door fucking things. And I went, I bet your flies will come in here. Big blue bottle. Should have seen it. I hate flies. I'm doing all this. I said, what are you doing that for? Get the fly spray. She was running around going, psst, 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 psst. And she finally got it, honestly. She finally, psst, 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 finally got it. And she brushed it off. And she put it in the bin bag. And when she was going, it wasn't properly dead. I was going, bzz, bzz. And the, she said, oh, Dad. She should have stood on it. I said, oh, just that. Oh, blimey. So I can't explain it, can you? So the difference between a hero and a coward is one step sideways, Popeye. Great. That's it. George said, tightrope. Thank you. Oh, brilliant. Cracking film, you know. But it doesn't, like, you know, the way they come out with, you know, the Dirty Harrys and, you know, whatever. Cowboy films. That's a that hardly ever gets mentioned. Good film. Title. Watch it. If you like Clint, me mate. Edward. Do you like the final? Yeah. Do you know what? Edward, I was watching it and I had to turn it off. I said, oh, that's all right, you know. And I went, oh, fuck this. I'm sorry for swearing. I go along with what George Bernard Shaw says, you know. You've got to express yourself properly. And a swear word helps a lot. There's no harm in a swear word. That's what he said. That's what he said. So I watched it and I went, oh, fuck that. I can't watch this now. And I was looking forward to it because I like the Final Destinations. I really do. I think they're great films. Nice little franchise. Better than most franchise films. Edward, Simon, a coward dies 1,000 steps. A brave person only one. They must think of these lines, mustn't they? What can we put in? The greatest line ever is, we'll have to get a bigger boat. Must be the classic. But the best one, there was only 2 words in a line. 2 words. And it was one of the best scenes. For me, it was the best scene ever. And it was from The Wild Bunch. When William Holden comes out and he says to his 3 compatriots, let's go. And you see them walking down the street, the 4 of them. Brilliant scene. Brilliant. I'll tell you another scene which I love, but it was the end of a film. And it was my favourite. I love classical music. I love it. I listen to it when I'm depressed. Put me classical. Put the likes of Bizet, Puccini, Verdi. And one of my favourite pieces from anything, is Barber's Adagio for Strings. Love it. And you see Willem Dafoe, the war film about Vietnam, and you just see him like that, getting killed. And that's the Adagio for Strings. Barber's fantastic. And I said to Francine once, I'm going back 8 years. I said, I want. She said, well, what do you want playing, Taz? I said, this. And I've got it there, And she said, Taz, you can't play that. I said, why? She said, I said, yeah, I want them all to cry. I said, made me laughing at me. The old cracking jokes and everything, so make them cry as I'm going down the aisle or whatever. In the box. Adagio for Strings. It's only 48 subs away from it. Thank you. Thank you, Ezra. Jason and I were talking, was it last night or the night before? Whenever it was. And we should have had well and truly over it, because they don't like, I don't know, it's YouTube. Yeah, YouTube would take away subscribers. You don't want to reach a certain, and I thought, sad but true. Edward, to Simon, from Simon. One thing I've learned: move calmly, move cautiously. You'll never be sorry. Another line is, So he says, guys, you're making me blush. Franco was rubbing off on me. Simon, everyone has a crush on Sandra Bullock, says Chris. But Genevieve Bujold. I tell you, two French girls. Two French girls, as I was growing up. Brigitte Bardot. And the other one, still going today. And the other one is fucking get names gone. Oh, blonde girl. Better come to me. Better come to me. Frank is like Marvin from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Brain the size of a plant. No, plant pot. Plant pot. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken. That's a cracker, that. That's a cracker, that. It really is. I love quotes, you see, but I like quotes from the likes of Oscar Wilde, Plato. Just love them. Tolstoy. Daryl. Frankie! Hey, Daryl. That's Apocalypse Now. There's a quote there in that. I think it's one of the most horrible quotes ever. Because when I say it, I just think of a certain thing. And it's, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. The damage that did to people, ordinary civilians, was shocking. No accountability by those Americans. And the fucking going on today. They're wanting to be mediators in a fucking war area they've started. How can they be mediators? Eh? Ridiculous. He wants to rule the world. He can't fucking rule the world. The world won't allow them. Picking fights with everyone. Proxy fucking wars. They haven't won a war. Let me know what war they won. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what war they won. They won it over the indigenous Native American. And they've still fucking put them, they're still on in the 21st century. Reservations. Think about that. Fucking Houthis beat them. Fellas who wear sandals and go to fucking war on a bike with a rifle over the shoulder. Platoon, the end scene, and the helicopter flying overhead, eerie but poignant, and say, Simon, that's the scene I'm talking about. But Willem Dafoe. and Barber's Adagio for strings in the background playing. Thank you, Simon. Movie soundtracks that sticks with me is Rise of the Valkyries from Apocalypse Now. Wagner. And do you know that Rise of the Valkyries, that was Adolf Hitler's favourite piece of music? Did you know that? Edward, Inglorious Bastards is a good film. Brad Pitt, he's in Fury to Wit, is good. I like Brad Pitt. Edward, I like Brad Pitt. I like him. And he's a Liverpool supporter. Brad, it likes peeps, says, thank you, Daryl. I never ever mention it, you know. I don't think that they like, you know, the algorithm going up for some reason. All right, Lee, the vlogs, MX6, this fella, you know, goes under two different guises. MI6. He's got his MI6 on label on today. Liverpool FC vlogs. Honor Frank, what genre of films do you like most? Mine are probably World War II and horror, but usually a bit of everything. But they're my preferences. Watched The Conjuring last night. Good one. Yeah, it's a good film, The Conjuring. But you're all right. You've got a little family. You can and a wife. You know, because when you're scared, you know, you can, and you have to go to the loo. You can drag her up and you come to the loo with me. I live on my own. Know what I mean? I'm lying there like that, having to go to the loo. Okay, then. Oh, let's just sleep with the lights on. Yeah, I watch a variety of films. When I used to work, you know, coming home from the colleges, and I used to put horrors on, believe it or not, to get away from the reality of everything. I love science fiction, but they have to be clever. And obviously, but I like romantic films. And I've just given two of the lovely girls, I mean. Two romantic films. So they're my genre. Lee. I know you might think, oh fuck off, Frank, you're a romantic. Honest, some cracking films, you know. Romance. I like old films. I like looking back at old propaganda films from the Second World War. Great films. And it was to give people a lift, not today's propaganda. I don't like today's propaganda because that's escalating, and it's not propaganda anymore, it's fucking lies. You know, President Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation only last week There was an attempt on his life by drones. By drones. To get much that in the Western press, no. The Western media, no. Because it was a fucking American intel telling these fucking Ukrainians where to go, what to do. So, propaganda today is based on fucking lies. Horrible. Horrible. And people believe them. But I don't want to get into that now. Band of Brothers was amazing. Couldn't get into the Pacific that they did. And I think they made another series recently, but not sure what it's based on. Damian Lewis was in that, wasn't he? Band of Brothers. You know that Saving Private Ryan? That was a load of bollocks. Did you know that it was the British? The Enigma machine that was taken off a German U-boat. We got it. The Americans made a film that they got it. We broke the codes. At Bletchley Hall. Our girls. Believe it or not, one of my mature students should be well dead now. Her name was Dorothy. White-haired lady, very elegant. Very elegant. And posh. And she worked as a code breaker at Bletchley Park. Yeah. Bletchley Park. Unbelievable. I sat down with her one day and was talking to her all about it. Breaking codes. And they work very, you know what? I said, people will just think that you're sitting at a desk, you know, looking at numbers and things and not thinking how hard you work, how brain draining it is, mind boggling. She said, yes, she said, precisely. She was made up that I said that because she said people didn't realise. Do you know what? I always regret not talking to my grandmother. You know, talk to her, you know what I mean? But I mean, sit down and talk to her. She used to just say these little mad things. I said, I'm going out. Massive regret. The vlogs. Only thing that does my head in is all these films and series are mostly all about what USA did, like they won the war. Never anything about the British and how much more we did. It's not just the British. It's the Russians, it's the Soviets. I've got to say this, vlogs, honestly. Please believe it. We're coming up to D-Day, 6th of June. D-Day. We've made countless films about it, like The Longest Day. Great film, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Now, think about this. between 80 and 85% of the might of the German army was in the Eastern Front. Between 20 and 15% was at the Normandy landings, the Allies. Think about that. Just think about it. Imagine if it was vice versa. Between 80 and 85% fighting the Allies at Normandy or wherever. It'd still be fucking fighting them today. You would never have broken through, in other words, ever. Wouldn't have lasted a month. 80 to 85% were fighting the Soviets, and yet the Soviets got to Berlin first. Do you see what I mean? And he never fucking mentioned them. We won the war. No, you fucking didn't. You've never won any fucking war. I remember Obama in his inauguration, when he became president, just came out of the fucking blue, and I went, oh, what did he say that for? Because I listened to all the inaugurations. And he said, we won the 2 world wars. Oh, you fuck. What's who they fucking teach in those colleges? I haven't a fucking clue. Really? Fistful of Dynamite with James Coburn, IRA runaway, and Russ Scheider as the most unlikely duo who by default get involved in the Mexican Revolution. Great film with a great soundtrack by Ennio Morricone. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. MI6. See where you were. Are you going to be watching more films and news now the season is over? Yeah, I'll be watching more films. I'll be doing the odd football show. I'm not going to be doing them like twice a fucking week or anything. No way. Might be even doing them once a week. Might do one once we sign the players that we need to sign. Just do one. Just say, well, that's okay. I've seen all the comments. You know, how great FSG are. Oh, fucking yeah. Fucking useless. What a fucking clue. All Quiet on the Western Front was a cracking, brilliant film. Cracking film. And do you know that it was German? Did you know that? Yeah, cracking film about the German. I used to have that ticket was a big one like that. That ticket. And it was written by a Swiss general and it was about the First World War. That was my Bible, because it gave both sides. It wasn't like, bias or to one side or the other. Just a fair assessment. And when you lend fucking things out, and you forget who you lend them to. Never got it back. Fucking sickening. Simon says, problem with Spielberg, Band of Brothers depicted that it was only the Americans fought the Nazis. Of course. That's why I don't fucking bother with them. Don't bother with any American films based on bollocks. When they did the Apocalypse Now, what they did to civilians, they're the only country in the world that's dropped weapons of mass destruction. They were 2 atom bombs. And people say, oh, well, they should have dropped. No, they fucking shouldn't have done. It was coming to an end anyway. Just catching the tail end of your show, FC. Best wishes. I was in Ukraine, Kiev, 88, 95, when they completely sold their souls to the USA. The fucking Azov sold them. That's why they're fucking supporting them, the Americans. Azov. I don't want to fucking talk about them anymore. That's why I wouldn't go to Kiev and watch my beloved Liverpool, because of the fucking stepping banderas all over the fucking place in Kiev. Sickening. What fucking stepping bandera up if you don't know who he is? Vlogs says Masters of the Air, the newest series, is called Masters of Christmas. George Foreman says a lot of propaganda. Feel good. Yeah, he did. He did. What's the way ahead with David Niven? And in it, you see loads of great actors, stalwart actors. That came prominent in the 40s and the 50s and the early part of the 60s. Really good. Really good. The way ahead. A Matter of Life and Death also. But that was in 1946. That was after the fucking war. Excuse me. That was after the war. But you do have them. I love propaganda films of the time, because I think of our families living under a rain of bombs here in Liverpool and what they went through. So they needed something to lift them. And they did, these films. I loved it. I love Hitchcock when he first started off. I love it. You get it on YouTube. I think it's a beautiful film. I think it's brilliant. Um, Derek Damani, and it's called The Innocents, and you can get it on YouTube. It's just called The Innocents. Looking great. It's really good, you know. But that was just to go to the films, you know, while everything was going on. This is leading up to the war, you know, this is in the 30s. And it was just a relief to go. It wasn't anything about fucking war or spies or anything. It was just a nice film. A little thriller. Hitchcock. Watched a couple of decent films this week. Most are propaganda, influence stuff. They're all fucking propagandist influence, to be honest. Capo. The On Board is not a fan of Clive Owen, but wasn't a bad story on free TV net. And the film, The Jackal, with it. Aidan Quinn's a great actor, but you never heard of him. Irish actor, Irish lad. Aidan Quinn. Did a couple of great films and bang, he just disappeared. He did a cracking one. I don't know what it was called, forget what it's called. And that was a paranormal one. Forget what it was called. Aidan Quinn. I've got this fucking itching back now. Would you believe? The pain. Itching. Fucking zoom, mate. Alan Turing and John Flowers built one of the first supercomputers. Alan Turing, because of his sexuality, was treated terribly. The man who built, as you said quite correctly, the supercomputer and breaking the German codes, Alan Turing. And he was treated that bad that he took his own life. The Assignment, is that one of the films? I've heard of it. I've heard of it. There's a film called Victim with Dick Bogart. Dick. And Sylvia Sims, cracking film. But it was about what was going on in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. As I said about it wasn't about Alan Turing. It wasn't about it. Anything, no resemblance to him, to be honest. But it's about what was going on. Like, through sexuality. Fucking great film. Black and white. Victim. It delights lads, this channel and the history shows FC does cracking good. Thank you. Thank you so much. What do you think would have happened if Hitler never invaded Russia? Europe would have been under the, with Barbarossa, that's what it was called. Operation Barbarossa going into Russia. They were on the coast, they were all around the northern France, the Channel, ready to come over here. And what had happened was, Hitler, for some reason, went, let's go into fucking Russia, let's take them out. Because they were ready to invade this country. This is where you had, the most famous speech that a fucking actor said, believe it or not. Not it wasn't Churchill, it was an actor who said it. He used to take off his voice, when he was doing broadcasts, because he was somewhere fucking else or whatever he was doing, whatever he was up to, Churchill. We'll fight them on the beaches and all this. We'll support them on the fucking beaches with poles, mop poles and brush poles. They was just invaded, fucked us up. That's what would have happened. And Europe would have been enclosed to anything. People will think, we would have fought them. It was about the Quislings here. Of course you would have done. In this country. The Germans would have invaded. You would have had resistance, don't get me wrong. But then again, you would have had the collaborators too. But there was just enclosed Europe. And a part of the empire then was where? Canada. And believe it or not, Canada, it proves it. I don't even have to fucking prove it. I'll just say, do you remember Juncker last year getting a standing ovation in the Canadian Parliament? And the Russians said, didn't they? We want him over here. He's going, never mind his fucking age, get him over here. He's going to stand trial. A German SS officer. And he was wanted for murder. Mass murder. Still in Canada. So think about that. If the Germans wouldn't have invaded Russia, with the closure of, even all North Africa would have gone through. That would have been, especially the Middle East for the oil. Lots of permutations. What would have happened? All over their eyes, Frank, them Americans thinking they won. Yeah. Every other war since. Blokes. Legal Eagles with reference. Yeah, great film. I like Redford. Deborah Winger. Who always has a crush on. Funny. Bits of drama and some nice scenes. No, Legal Eagles is good. Deborah Winger is Redford's absolutely superb. If you like Redford, watch 3 Days of the Condor. 3 days of the conto. How many? Oh. Now you'd say Claudia, wouldn't you? And it's proper Claudia. Claudia Cardinale is the most beautiful actress ever. No one comes as close, in my eyes. Just watch Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone with Charles Bronson, Jason Robards, and Henry Fonda. Classical. Yeah. Yeah. I always thought Henry Fonda had a great voice. A great voice. Breaker Morant and Edwards Woodward. That was about Gallipoli, wasn't it? Simon. Gallipoli. And the New Zealanders and the Australians. Get out there, Mrs. Jessup. I'm a fucking thing. Say that. Get out there, Mrs. Jessup. Was it Home and Away? No, was it? I have a fucking clue. It was an Australian one. I forget what it was called. They were the type of fucking things we had to watch of a weekday. Back in the day. Fucking Neighbours. Home and Away. I forget what the Australian one was called. Fucking hell. Mrs. Jason. Only in Liverpool do we give 17 million to a company to dismantle a listed builder Littlewood on Place to give nothing in return. What is going on? Now they are saying Trump's tariffs might affect our film business. You've got the neocons in America, but you fucking have the mayor as well, Starmer. This fucking BlackRock. I said last night on my last night's show about when I went shopping yesterday with my daughter. And I don't give a fuck about money, honestly. And, you know, she was doing all that. You know, them self-service tills. Because there was a fucking big... I'd rather go to where the girl's serving. But anyway, she's done it on there. She said, Dad, we can't wait around. I said, okay. And it came up, you know, that I said, is that how much that is? She said, yeah. Fucking, because I don't bother, you see. Fucking unbelievable. Do you know all the tariffs on? Do you know all the sanctions? I'll tell you this, Mark. You mightn't believe it, but you know, up to you. All the sanctions on Russia. You know, they blame Russia, don't they? That's your propaganda. Fucking blame Russia for fucking everything. They even blame Russia for Starmer's fucking rent boys, which is a load of bollocks, you know, to blame Russia, that is. And they are Russia is the breadbasket of the world. Did you know that? Think about it. And when I'm in about breadbasket, I'm talking about all of the minerals. besides the wheat and the grain and everything else. And America is still trading with them under that, albeit it's and the world wouldn't be fucking being fed. This is why I was looking and I go to Sainsbury's because it's nearer to me. And I was looking for a couple of certain items. You went there. The only thing in life that's really interesting is the contest. Lee Marvin. Great, isn't he? Got wounded in the Second World War, you know. He was a Marine. And he was taken on, acted by sheer mistake. I think he was a plumber. And he was in this theatre doing it. And he just rehearsing, but he had to get to the other side of the stage, you know, to do this thing. And he just walked across the stage as they were rehearsing, you know. He just walked across the stage. The director went, "How the fuck's that?" And there was some other people there, you know, sitting in the audience. I'm not, you know, like it wasn't an audience coming to see a play, they were just rehearsing. Fucking hell. And he started talking to him, and you know, the gruff voice here. Deep voice, yeah. That's how we started. You'll do us, mate. Incredible. Have you seen a true story paranormal film called When the Light? I haven't, Paul. I haven't. The Haunters with Aidan Quinn, Frank. Do you mean The Haunters? A cracking film. It was, yeah. It was called The Haunters. I was thinking of another film, an original film going back to the 60s called The Haunting, done in black and white. And they made a follow-up, I think it was in the 90s, with Liam Neeson and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Not a follow-up, I'm sorry, a remake of The Haunting. But The Haunted is right, spot on, bang on. It's a cracking film, clever film. I like clever films. Excuse me. Brilliant, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, The Haunted. Watch that film. Google it, people, and watch that film called The Haunted. Aidan Quinn. Correct, Frank, says the boss. The huge mistake of Adolf to attack two fronts, and that stretched the supply line when the Russians applied scorched earth policy. Helmut Kohl made a similar economic mistake too. This fucking mate, he's doing this very same mistake. No one. I don't want to get into it now, unfortunately. It's for the current affairs. I just don't want to get into it. It's upset. I'm going to start swearing. And my films go out the window. Half of Hitler's family were Irish and Scousers who lived in Toxteth, Upper Stanhope Street, around the corner from Ringo Starr and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang director Ken Hughes, only in Liverpool, Frank, yes. And the Post House in Cumberland Street. He wanted to rock it down. And Freddie, you know, God rest his soul, Freddie O'Connor rang me up. He said, Frank, you've got to, you know. I said, okay. So I actually, I'm not just saying me, but we saved the Post House. And I said, I'll give you 3 people who went in there. One, they hadn't a fucking clue who it was when I mentioned them. And I mentioned Charles Dickens. Dicko went to me. And Adolf Hitler. He went, fuck off. So he went to see his brother, his half-brother, Wilhelm, who worked at the Adelphi. And a sister who lived down in Toppy. You right? Stanhope Street. He went, fuck. And you want to pull this down? Do you know the other one? I never had a fucking clue who it was. And he was actually the American consul here. He fucking hates it. He said, it's full of ruffians, just like John Henry said. Remember the leak by John Henry? The email leak? That he says, I have to go back over to that shit old Liverpool. And he tried to fucking deny it. He said, oh, someone else done it. Fuck off. This American consul, and he wrote a book called The Scarlet Letter. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Hated Liverpool. So did Melville, you know, he wrote Moby Dick. Horrible place here. He was always around the dockside. I wonder why he was down the dockside. He used to go down the dockside looking for business. Right, FC, watch Condor several times. It's also on YouTube, I think. I don't think it is, you know, boss, Capo. I don't think it is. Maybe wrong, I don't know. 3 Days of the Condor, great film. It's only what goes on. I'll tell you what to watch. And I've said this loads of times, but watch what's in the background of what the Americans are doing. Trying to do. And I think they're copying the Germans from the Second World War, what they were trying to do and achieve. So if you watch, I think it's a great film as well. A bit of a love story, really. And Keanu Reeves is in. And it's called Replicas. Replicas. Replicating something. Try and watch that. Mark, didn't Hitler go to university? He got on. Here's what happened. He came over telling her to see his brother and sister. I've only got to do something, you know. Oh, left arm it goes. I haven't taken me painkiller. Do you take painkillers because you're listening to me? Okay, honestly, I have to take a painkiller before I listen to Frank. You know, when he came over, he was on the overhead railway. He was amazed by the overhead railway panel. But what he was amazed at also, he was amazed at the engineer of the overhead. And when he was on it, he went, wow. And he's seeing loads and loads of ships in the docks. 7 miles of dock. Loads of fucking cargo, full of fucking food and everything. Unloading. And apparently he walked up to Lime Street, or he got off at Lime Street, I'm not quite so sure, but anyway, he was up at Lime Street, and he passed through the fish market and Queen Square fruit and veg market, and he seen people with handcarts pushing all these fucking things. And he said, how's this happen? Because back in Germany, people were starving to death, which you never was told about, families. America flooded the fucking market with their dollar. That's why they waited and waited and waited till they got involved in the war. That's why they say, oh, we won the war. No, you fucking didn't. It was an armistice where no one won the war. But they cornered the market for trade and everything else. And I'm talking everything else. That's when the dollar then, you know, became, if you want to buy something, you'll have to buy the dollar. Bankers, you see. The likes of BlackRock today. That JP Morgan with Nikola Tesla, when he wanted to give the world free electricity because it's free, he said, look, it's all free, this. The bolts, free. Don't have to spend anything. Give the world free electricity. See what they can do with it. The likes of JP Morgan, fucking banker, went out and know there's a lot of money to be made, including Edison, by the way. Edison said, oh, fuck that. We want to earn money, we want to make money. You're already fucking money-minded and loaded. And Aidan Quinn's wife was in The Sopranos, and she is the sister of Lorraine Bracco, Tony's doctor. Lorraine Bracco. Lovely, yeah. And she was in Goodfellas as well, Lorraine Bracco. As Ray Liotta's wife. Young. I'm trying to think. Oh no. Thought gone from my mind. Yeah. Lorraine Bracco, and I didn't recognise it. I put up something, only the trailer. I was told to watch it, called Nonnas. Nonnas. About Italian grandmothers. And Lorraine's in there. There's this weighty, grey-haired, like me, grandmother. And that's what she is today. That's how she is today. Rather than the beautiful young one and Goodfellas, young wife, and Tony Soprano's psychiatrist or therapist. Beauty. Thank you for that, Edward. Franco, sorry, the film concerns the 1902 court-martial Lieutenant Marant Peter George Whitten, one of the, yeah. Baker Marant, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But wasn't he Australian or New Zealander? See, the British, when we got involved in a war, I don't believe in colonialism, never have to, never will do. Imperialism or anything fucking like that. And we always brought in, I was at Menin Gate, I brought my students over to Menin Gate. And the last posters played every single night, 365 days a year, and 66 days on the leap year, played every night. And I was looking at these names. There was sepoys, there was loads of them. Indian names, all around, the empire. The unfortunate thing is that they never get recognized. People from the empire. It's just like the British. How many films have you ever seen where the sepoys are? The Indian Army, the Indian sepoys, how many? Fighting the Germans. How many? You don't see them, do you? That's all I'll say on them. Edward, says the boss. Aidan has been in so many different types of films and underrated. Lorraine Bracco plays it well. The Sopranos, great series, best series ever, my opinion. When the lights go out, is on the Amazon Prime Video, Frank. It's a true story about the paranormal in Pontefract in the 1974 Cliff. And do you want me to fucking watch that on my own? Must be joke. Going back to the 74 blackout, I remember going for a shoot. And I went set, and it was fucking candlelight. True this. It's candlelight. You had to look at it, eh? No fucking big arc lights or anything. Fucking candlelight and fucking shop. And I bought this suit. I said, oh yeah. Went so next day, which was Christmas Day. Because I got it on the Christmas Eve. And when it was fucking horrible. I thought it was navy blue pinstripe. It was fucking brown, and I never ever suited brown. And it was brown. I wouldn't wear it. Brought it back, and that's your fucking candlelight. That was during the blackout. I think it was Christmas or some fucking thing. Only in Liverpool, or I would say only by Liverpool related people, would you get such content and reaction plus interaction chat on a Saturday morning YouTube channel. Please tell your mates. Thank you. You must be the hang on. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Gandhi. Gandhi's saying how the imperialists were living and whatever. As a lawyer, came over to London and he was looking at suit and tie and whatever. I think someone gave him a bowler hat. Fuck off, what's why was that for? Gandhi said. And then he just went, this is it. Got to break away from this a lot. Then he went to wear his traditional Indian dress. Did Mahatma Gandhi. Not going to the post house again if they served the Nazis. Very good point of Goblin, yeah. Don't take this wrong. Don't say it. I think it's a gay bar now. And I went down there once. I was teaching in this fucking grammar school, believe it or not, and old grammar school. And the vicar always used to come in, St. Mary's Church. And he always came in and he said, hello, whatever he was saying, listening. And he used to just go, please come over and, during the celebrations of whatever it was, not saying Christmas or Easter or whatever it was, can you just come into I think he wanted people in there, so he used to say to these. And I was down there, and was it the post office? Sure it was, yeah. Yeah, it was the post office. And the vicar's in there. I went in for something. That's all. We had a beer and that, don't get me wrong. And they said, it's a gay bar now. I said, oh, fuck off. And the vicar was in there. Yeah, I've seen replicas. They would be happy to get rid of any of us who question and replace. Yeah, brilliant. That's it. It's as simple as that. Thanks there, boss. Glad you've seen it. And as I said, there's a definitive message. The underbelly of it. What the Americans get up to today. So I'm glad you said that. Yeah, made up in fact. Yes, all Australians. I was lucky to go to Meningate and Vinny Ridge and go around the main with, Allies and German graves never learned from the wasted slaughter of warmonger Haig. Yep. Horrible in. When they had the walk past the Senate after the first one, and they had the statue of Haig, the soldiers either put their heads down or turned away from them as they were going past Haig. Say, Sammy. You might know this, but who pays for the last post? And it comes from his estate because his son was killed there. And that's Rudyard Kipling. And he wrote the shortest yet most powerful poem ever. Ever. And that is, If any question why we died, tell them because our fathers lied. Because he signed a paper because his son had something wrong with his eyes and he wouldn't allow him in the army. He said, Daddy, people get me. All my mates are going over, all my friends. And he actually signed a paper, Rudyard Kipling, for his son to go over. And he was killed. He went over. The whistle went to go back to the lines with all the debris and everything else all around him. He just got up and ran towards his lines with his rifle. It wasn't his lines, it was the German lines, and he got killed. Oh, Myra's leaving. Take care, everyone. Oh, Myra. Edward. Bye, Myra. Edward. Oh. See you soon, Myra. Hey? See you soon. And if you're still with me, if you see DW, because I don't go on them anymore, if you see DW, tell him I was asking about him. Just say Frank sends his regards. Please. Thank you. Mille grazie. Oh. Paul Taylor. Definitely don't watch it before you go to bed, Frank. I won't even watch it. I won't. Great show, Frank and Chatters too. Off to lunch. Wish you all a good health. Next time, best wishes and thanks. You never walk alone with hope. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy your weekend. Couple. The dead are more real than the living because they are complete. Say Siegfried Sassoon. Great poet. Sassoon. And Wilfred Owen. If any question why we died, as Kipling said, tell them because our fathers lied. And I think that just the dead are more real than the living because they are complete. And as Owen said, what passing bells for these who die as cattle. Ah, Myra, thank you, Myra. Okay, Frank, that's about DW. Thank you, Myra. Thank you. Smashing. And Simon, war is an ill thing, as I surely know, but would be an ill world for weaponless dreamers if evil men were not now and then slain. All war is absurd. Kipling. Yes. Lads and girls, great chat this morning. I like this, and I'll tell you for why. Remember when I said, film and TV review? We did do a few films, didn't we? But everything that gets mentioned, and I'm not saying a free for all, but there's other things that need to be said. Not me saying it, you're saying it because you comment. So you think this needs to be said, and it's said, and we talk about it. Simon, Franco, It's been an honour and privilege as always. When are you on next? I think you'll have to wait for the. I'm doing a history one. And I don't know whether to do it on Monday or Tuesday. I just don't know, but it'll be a history. The following week, Simon, I think you'll enjoy because I'm getting things ready about certain characters and buildings, by the way, not just characters. But I'll be giving a background. Say like Thurston Holland, you know, Thurston, I'll just pick them. Excuse me. Say like Thurston Holland, you know, I'm not just going to say, oh yeah, Thurston Holland, great character, Liverpool, oh brilliant. I'll give you this background, what he did. And it'll open your eyes. So it's things like that. Not just the character. Be giving you funny characters. People, you know, you go, wow, you know. So it's things like that I'll be talking about. Great women, beautiful ladies, heart and soul, beautiful, beautiful. And it's not all males who are philanthropists and given their lives. So, on that fine note, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll see you all on Monday or Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. Christopher. Bye, Frank and everyone. Have a great weekend. Up the title winning Reds. Buona giornata. Prendete cura di te e dei tuoi cari. And on that note, ci sentiamo presto. Thank you. And that was my daughter. I've got to ring her back. So, and on that wonderful note from Simon, mille grazie. I'll see you on lunedì, Monday, or the day after. Prossimo settimana. Ci vediamo. Ciao. Frank, we are looking at Edison from Atlanta. We can only dream. Frank, we're looking at Edison, says Mark Simons. Wow. Take care, Frank. Have a good weekend. Says Paul. Thank you. And Johan. Take care, fellow legends. Cheers, Frank. Cheers, yo. Everybody enjoyed themselves. I've got to phone my daughter back. I really have to. Ci vediamo. Prossimo settimana. That's when I'll see you. So, ciao.